Graviton, Episode 5, Exodus Part 2. Planet Adaria, 500 light-years from Earth, populated by 1 billion scourged Dadarians under the rule of Apollyon. Orbiting Earth, the Spade Super Space Station, S4, instantly teleports hordes of the mindless cannibal beasts to Egypt, where the Pharaoh Ramses uses them to accomplish his evil plans for Earth. Luxor Mine. Derek Freeman, Jenkun, and Brutus must exterminate the scourged from Luxor so that Queen Tia will free their friends. Above the mine, we see the group surveying the area. Brutus says, "I've heard Christians say God speaks to them. How can I hear God?" Pondering his own recent experience, Derek says, "Well, he spoke to me once very clearly, but since then I've not been able to hear him." Offering some advice, Jenkins says, "We should not expect to hear God's voice with our ears, but listen with your heart and you may hear him." Brutus relates, "Well, I wish the Lord would speak to me more clearly." "Me too," says Derek. "Do you guys smell that?" Uh-oh, look. Dusk brings out the wicked. Here they come, preparing his gun. Blam, blam, blam! Rah! A whole bunch of Dadarian scourged monsters leap out of the crevices of the mine entrance and attack the gang. But they're ready for him. Look at Jenkun here with his very long, sharp sword. Slish! He slices 2 of those guys clean in half. "Foul demons," he says, as the one falls, spilling its baloney all over the dirt. "So ugly," says Brutus as he kicks one in the face. And Derek lets out a rainbow karam! Why rainbow? I don't know. I should have left it black letters. Temple Karnak. Look at that big crazy temple. That's Queen Tia's temple. The gang are being held hostage, but looks like they've been unchained for the time being. And Ed is helping himself to some refreshments. "I don't like being held a prisoner, but Queen Ramsay's hospitality is pretty tasty." Aiden also has a little sandwich in her hand and says, "So, Crystal Rose, do you think you can mimic Tia's power of conjuration?" Having been exposed to those conjured chains of Tia's, Aiden rightly suspects that Crystal Rose might be able to pick up that trick. "Indeed. Look." Crystal says, "I feel like I could, but nothing happens when I try to make the chains like she did." And we see the conjuration power trying to do something in her hand there. With a mouthful of bread and sandwich, Ed says, "Well, of course not. Why would you? Chains aren't your style." Considering this, Aiden says, "Oh, I get it. Tia is a real control freak, so she conjures up chains. Crystal, what reflects your heart's true desire?" "Freedom," she thinks to herself. And behold, the conjured power of her inner desires. Big angelic wings to represent her desire for freedom, conjured up with this green glow that means it's a conjuration. And the group is stunned by this. Wow, that's amazing. Explaining further, she says, "I've always wanted to fly free." And she climbs up right up onto the dinner table there and leaps into the air. "Look at me, I'm bam!" And takes a big face plant right on the floor. Clearly falling, she lays there defeated. Aiden explains, "Well, your new wings weren't made for flying, but they are impressive anyway." The implication here that conjured things are only kind of real, but not really real. Meanwhile, back on the battlefield, observing the hordes of more army rushing towards them, Brutus says, "There are a lot more of them than I expected." And when things couldn't get any more out of hand, they hear, "Ah, woo!" which is always a bad word in a comic book, followed by an equally bad word, good gravy. Behind them, they see stomp, 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 this big, huge, oversized, mega-sized monster. And he roars a bunch of nasty words. Roar and mwah. Look at him, he's about 12 feet tall. That's pretty scary, Derek says. How did this one get so big? Firing his blaster at it. Pzow! It blasts off of a Graviton shield. Gazing! What the? A Graviton? Oh no, he's an Aeon. Derek realizes this one will be a challenge. But Jenkins leaps into action with his sword. Hey-ya! But he gets uppercutted right out of the scene. Oof! Also facing hand-to-hand combat now, Derek tries to lay a couple whaps. Bam, pack! And it just irritates the monster. Grrr. He picks Derek up by the head and crunches his head. Oof, that couldn't have felt good. Picking Derek right up into the air, gonna throw him. He screams for a little help here. And just in the nick of time, Brutus shows up with his big long trident, and he jabs him through the back and out his chest. Urgh! And Derek falls to the ground. He's okay. Somebody said, why did you draw him stabbing him up his butt? I said, he's not stabbing him up his butt. He's stabbing him in the back. Above the battlefield, other soldiers are observing this on their chariots. Look, Captain Otep. The Queen's mercenaries have defeated the enemy's commander. What strength, what great courage. Responding, Otep says, and we will not stand idly by and watch. Let us join them in the victory. Chariots attack! And their jet ski, hovercraft, sea-doo, machine gun chariots join in the battle. Zaza, zaza, zaza! For the Queen! He's a very zealous soldier, Commander Otep here. Meanwhile, back at the Tia's palace, the girls and Ed waited out. They're bored, playing checkers. Ed's falling asleep, drooling on himself. They wish they were in the battle here instead. Yeah! Splat! Stab! Jenkins says, even with help, there's just too many of them. But Brutus says, I've got a plan. Still back with the girls and Ed. Crystal says, I'm worried. What if the guys don't make it back here? Aiden agreeing, we may need to persuade Tia to release us. We can't risk trying to break out, but perhaps we can reason with her. We just need something she wants. Crystal picks up what she's saying. Some way to sweeten the deal. Well, don't look at me. What do you think I can do? Says Ed. We're not asking you to do anything unchristian. But the girls push him towards Tia's quarters. Just get in there and negotiate. Be nice to her, Ed. How degrading. On the battlefield, we see several hordes still of the Adarian cannibal beasts. And the chariots drive them towards the river as Brutus instructs them. Lure them towards the river. Get your chariots across, Captain, says Derek. And here comes the Aeon of Hydrax, manipulating the molecules of water itself. Brutus says, now I wash the earth of your filth. Foo crash! This huge tidal wave comes up from the river and drowns and floods out the scourge. The few survivors are picked off by spear and pistol. Only a few left now. Pop, 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 just shooting fish in a barrel. Presidential Palace, Alexandria. Vice President Anunnakin approaches the pharaoh, who's admiring the city and his own reflection in the window as usual. The Aeon Activator has arrived, my Lord Ramses, and the master specimen is being processed now. Psychic domination will follow. Proceed, Anunnakin. We see some guards escorting Grace. Remember, Grace got captured? Looks like they're in the basement or something. She's shackled. They take her up to this crazy machine that whirs, crackles, and cracks to life with lightning. What is this? And it strikes her, unleashing some strange new power, and it hurts. And we hear her screaming, ah, into the night. Back at Temple Karnak, Luxor. That's Queen Tia's palace. The boys are back. and Commander Otep leads them. And victorious! All the scourged have been vanquished, and the minds are clear. Sharing an embrace, Jenkin and Aiden. Thank God you're all okay. Crystal also is compelled to embrace Derek, leaps into his arms and plants a kiss on him. And says, check this out, pretty neat, huh? What do you think? As she displays her new conjured angel wings of looking cool like an angel. He says, awesome, can you fly? No, they're just for show. Noticing someone's missing, Jenkin asks, where's Edison? And here he comes out of Tia's quarters. Let me go, you crazy succubus. He's carrying his trousers in his arm, and she's still trying to chain him up. But not seriously. Great, you're back. Time to go. Roll out. Let's get moving. Trying to dismiss the incident. What happened to you? And everyone's laughing at him. Nothing. I don't want to talk about it. Looks like we saved from just in the nick of time, actually. Tia wants confirmation. Is it true? Are all of the Scourge destroyed now, Captain Otep? And he confirms, yes. Yes, Your Majesty, a glorious victory. Very well. Now go and confront Pharaoh. Clear the way for me to take the throne. And she sends the whole group away. On their way back to Alexandria, the gang stop back at Cairo to inform the many local Israelites of the plan to leave Egypt en masse. We see the slums of Cairo outside the giant dome of the city. But the resistance headquarters is now a smoldering ruin of despair. And we see Ezekiel sitting outside desperate. And all the burnt ruins and crumbles of the building. Oh no, the group approaches. Aiden takes the lead and says, Zeke, what happened here? Are you okay? Zeke explains, the Phoenix came looking for Crystal Rose. She said that Grace was captured, and then she burned down our home. Look at the carnage unleashed by Derek's sister Cleo. Brutus speaks up. I am responsible for the girl's capture, and I will help rescue her, referring to Grace. And Derek says, and we will confront Pharaoh, and the Lord will make him let the sons of Israel go free. Emboldened by this, Ezekiel stands up and says, God keeps his word. I will organize the people to prepare for Exodus. This concludes Graviton episode number 5. Coming soon, Graviton episode number 6. This edition of Graviton is sponsored by Spade Enterprises. We own that. My name is Numb Thumb, and this is Warhard Arts.